Hey sis, long time no see. How many years has it been since you left home now?
Oh, I think I'm about to Oh, hi, Dana.
What's the attitude about all that? Still think you're hot stuff, do you? I'll be telling mom and dad about this.
The old run and tell your parents despite being a grown-ass woman trick. How I haven't missed you.
Oh, what's that? Are you scared? You know you'd be in heaps of trouble if I told mom and dad you were being horrible to me.
You act like you just revealed the mother of all trump cards, but you do realize I left home nearly 10 years ago now, right? Your threats have no power over me.
Huh?
Sure. Back then, I was a naive little kid with no life experience, and I was genuinely struggling with living on my own. The only reason your threats worked with me back then was because I was terrified by the prospect of having to make it completely on my own after mom and dad kicked me out. But, luckily, I found a job the week before, which gave me a means of supporting myself. So I vowed to make it on my own without having to rely on my family in the slightest. 10 years down the line, I'm financially independent and happier than I've ever been. You do well to remember I'm not the same vulnerable little girl as I was 10 years ago.
Wow, you're so impressive, Rachel. Would you like a medal? Wait a second. When you say you're financially independent, no way! I'm actually surprised.
Why?
Isn't it obvious? How could a stay-at-home housewife be financially independent? That's not how it works.
Huh? Since when was I a stay-at-home housewife?
It's actually hilarious that you're claiming to be independent when you rely totally on your husband's salary to live. You literally wouldn't have food on the table if not for him. Start making sense, woman. You're cracking me up too much here.
Dana, what are you saying? Are you sure you're not making some kind of misunderstanding?
Huh?
You think I'm a stay-at-home housewife? Husband? Married? Wait, what? You think I'm married?
Well, you aren't?
No, I'm very much not. I can forgive you for misunderstanding since we haven't seen each other in over 10 years, but I'm single.
Whatever, you don't have to try and show off, sis. It really is pathetic how transparent you are. You're wasting your time. Because I have incontrovertible proof that you're indeed married.
Huh? Proof?
I'm a little late coming out with this, because you distracted me. But now, on to the season I messaged you in the first place without further ado.
Damn, you mean you're not done yet? Lord, give me strength. I want to sleep soon, so make it quick, okay?
Then listen and listen good. Now you might want to sit down for this, but you see how it is? I'm pregnant with your husband's baby.
Huh, you're pregnant? With whose kid?
Your husband's, like I said.
But I just told you I'm single, so how is that possible? How can you be pregnant with my husband's kid if he doesn't exist? You're making some kind of mistake here, or maybe you're on drugs?
Drugs? How dare you? I most definitely am not. I'm pregnant, so the proof is right here in my belly.
Maybe you are pregnant, but that doesn't answer my question. Let me ask you once more, how is it possible that you're pregnant with my husband's kid when my husband doesn't exist? I'm single. S-I-N-G-L-E.
And like I told you, your husband's baby is in my belly. B-E-L-L-Y. Do you understand yet? Ugh, you're so dense.
I'm asking you because I don't understand. At the current point in time, I am husbandless. That means he doesn't exist. Which means I'm single, and that you, my darling, are crazy if you don't give up on whatever this is. I am S-I-N-G-L-E. Even if you are pregnant, which I don't doubt, your nickname did used to be the Village Bike after all, it's not my husband's.
Ugh, good grief. You just do not know when to give up, do you? I understand your heart must be full of negative emotions like frustration, rage, and jealousy right now to see your more beautiful little sister doing so well in life. But you need to be careful not to upset me. I have a little one to think about now, and stress is bad for the baby.
Believe me, there isn't an ounce of frustration, rage, or jealousy towards my imaginary husband's kid in my whole body. I'm just annoyed because I feel like I'm talking to a brick wall. Okay, let's hear it. What's my husband's name?
You actually want me to say it? What a masochist. I guess I'll say it if you really want me to. Your husband's name is Toby.
Toby?
Why would you want to hear me say his name, though? Isn't this painful for you? This isn't healthy, sis. So why don't you just stop before you get hurt again?
I'm not hurt, just indescribably confused. Who's Toby?
Huh?
If I recognized the name, I thought I might be able to ask my friends if they knew anything. But I've literally never met anyone called Toby in my entire life.
Huh?
I have no idea what kind of mammoth misunderstanding you're in the grips of here, but I strongly recommend you reinvestigate the identity of the father of your child. Goodbye.
Well, would you look at that? Turns out it was your husband after all. Why did you lie?
Excuse me?
It was Toby. I knew it.
How many times do I have to tell you I don't have a husband?
I hung around outside his house for a little while today because what you said had me so confused, and lo and behold, you come walking out.
Huh?
Which got me thinking, why would you be so desperate to deny it? To the point of telling barefaced lies and claiming you were single, and it finally dawned on me, I think I get it now. Because you can't bring yourself to move out of this huge luxury 5-bedroom house after working so hard to move in there with him.
Huh? Luxury 5-bedroom house? I didn't think it was possible, but I'm even more lost than before.
I hate to break this to you, Rachel, but I'm pregnant with your man's baby, which means I'm gonna be moving in so we can live together as a family, which means I'm so sorry, but you've gotta go. So if you don't mind, I need you to accept your fate, accept that your more beautiful sister won, and get out of my house.
But...
The jig is up. You can't bend and distort the truth anymore, because I outsmarted you. I bet you didn't expect me to wait outside his house, did you? I'm a genius. Boom! Divorce him, pack your things, and leave.
For the millionth time, I'm single.
Seriously, are you still playing this game? Even though my clever investigate efforts expose the truth to the light of the day? You know it's a waste of time, Rachel. Why are you doing this? You, seriously, do not know when to give up.
Well, I think you're right when you say the truth has been exposed to the light of day.
And so you admit it then?
I admit nothing.
Huh?
Hey, can you do me a favor? Would you mind putting your lunatic crusade against me on hold for a little while? I need to check something.
Huh? Check something? What is it?
Dana, I finally know who this Toby guy you're convinced is my husband is.
Huh?
I had a sneaking suspicion this might be the case, so I did a few checks. Can you just confirm something for me? That house that you think you saw me coming out of? Was it the one recently got built on Apple Lane behind the highway?
Aha, that's right. So you knew exactly what I was talking about all along. Why even bother playing dumb? I get that when you preserve what little of your pride and dignity you have left, but this really would have been easier for everyone if you just admitted it straight away. How tragic. I could already be living my dream life of luxury and glamour as Toby's stay-at-home housewife, barefoot and pregnant in his kitchen, if not for your stubbornness.
It's true, I did have a vague idea of what you might be talking about. But I have a duty of confidentiality that limits what I'm able to discuss due to my job. I am, however, willing to have this discussion within the range of what I just got permission from the boss on. Now, the key point here is that the married couple living in that house have both long been retired.
Huh? Then Toby must be their son.
Wrong. Their only son lives abroad and hasn't been home in a year.
What?
The only reason I go there a couple times a week is for my job as a visiting carer.
Huh? Your job?
That's right. I work for a company that provides care services to the elderly.
Wait a second, this can't be. If what you say is true, then who the hell's kid am I carrying?
Apparently, this Toby you keep mentioning is their personal driver, who also happens to be living on their sofa after falling on hard times.
Their driver?
I've never really spoken to him beyond the basic pleasantries, so I didn't realize who you meant until I stopped and thought about it for a while. Every time you meet him, he has you climb through a window, right? Did you never think that was strange?
No, he told me all the doors were broken. Plus, I thought it would be better that way, since we could get in trouble if you found out what we were doing. I didn't mind climbing through a window if it meant we could be together.
The obvious explanation to anyone with a brain being that he was sneaking you into somewhere you weren't supposed to be, because it wasn't his house.
Seriously? Rachel, what do I do? What do I do? Toby's real wife just sent me a horrible letter demanding compensation.
Huh? Ah, I see. What was it again? He had to move out for a while because their house got flooded, right? There was no more room at her parents' place, so Toby moved in with the Jeffersons. Which is when you got your claws into him and you had your affair.
I had no idea he had a wife.
That's interesting. I got a different impression back when you were bragging about being pregnant with my husband's baby. Not only that, but they had kids, didn't they? Damn it, Dana, what have you done?
If he's not your husband, I don't want him.
Huh?
I only stole him because I thought he was your husband. He's useless to me now. I thought it was so unfair that you got to live in that huge house with him. There was no way I was going to let you carry on getting away with it. But if he's not your husband, I'm not interested. He's welcome to his wife. I don't care.
Dana, I think it might be a little late for that.
Huh?
I spoke to Mr. Jefferson, the actual owner of the house, who's finally aware of everything that's been going on under his roof now. You announced the pregnancy to Toby at the same time you handed over a signed set of engagement papers and declared your undying love for him, right? This all happened the day after his divorce with his ex-wife was finalized. Of course, because why waste time? Anyways, Mr. Jefferson said he was so ecstatic, he took the marriage papers down to the local office straight away with a smile on his face and a spring in his step.
No way!
Mr. Jefferson also fired Toby as their personal driver as soon as he found out what he'd been doing.
Fired? Why?
Because he betrayed their kindness by sneaking his mistress in through their window to have a sordid affair in the room they invited him to stay in because they felt sorry for him. Mr. Jefferson might be kind, but he doesn't tolerate disrespect. And to be honest, Toby is lucky. He's also ex-military, and his wife tells me he was known to get violent with people back in the day. Oh, and by the way, obviously it wasn't my fault, but the company understood that continuing to work there could be difficult for me, knowing that one half of the disgraced couple was my little sister. So after lengthy talks between me, my boss, and the Jeffersons, out of consideration for me, it was decided that I wouldn't be their designated carer anymore and would go somewhere else.
Oh my!
The result being that I'm now responsible for looking after one of Mr. Jefferson's old friends, who, funnily enough, just so happened to be considering hiring a carer. The company are happy because they gained a handsomely paying new customer, and I get to carry on with my job as a visiting carer in the same capacity as before, with a little change of scenery.
This can't be happening. Are you telling me that despite the fact I'm pregnant with some unemployed homeless guy's kid and we're even about to get married, you benefited in some way? I don't understand how you have. But that's what it sounds like, and it's not fair. Not fair!
Are you serious? You don't have a leg to stand on here. None of this would be happening if you hadn't stolen my imaginary husband. Mistaking Toby for the owner of the house, mistaking me for Toby's wife. It could have all been prevented if you'd just done your research properly before charging in with your legs wide open, or at the very least, asking me first. I would have just told you, you know?
But if I'd asked you, there was a chance you might figure out my plan to steal your husband.
That's why your life's at rock bottom, and that's why there's no light at the end of this tunnel. Are you at least self-aware enough to understand you dug your own grave?
No, I can still fix this. I know. I'll give Toby to you.
Huh? You couldn't possibly mean. You want me and Toby to get married and raise the kid currently growing inside your belly together? You couldn't possibly mean that, could you?
That's right. Phew! I'm so glad you understand. Thank you, sis. I was starting to worry there. Okay, well now, you just have to charm him. You can do that, right?
That's definitely not going to happen.
What? Why not? You have a right to protect me. I'm your little sister. That's what sisters do. You should be looking out for me. The only reason you exist in the first place is to help me when I'm in trouble. What's the point in you being around otherwise?
I got married 3 days ago.
Huh?
Me and my boyfriend, a colleague from work who I've been dating for 5 years, went 3 days ago to hand in the marriage registration papers together.
What the hell? You had a boyfriend the whole time?
Yep.
But that means you lied. You said you were single. What am I supposed to do now about my marriage to Toby?
You're the one who married him in the first place, so you could, I don't know, get out of your own mess? None of this has anything to do with me.
But don't you feel bad for me? This is awful. I'm a victim here.
In a sense, you are a victim of yourself. If you want a divorce, then tell him you want a divorce. It's really that simple. The kid you're pregnant with, too? Decide what you're going to do between yourselves. It's time you stop trying to run away from the consequences of your action and faced reality, Dana.
Why won't you help me?
Do I really have to spell it out?
How am I supposed to know if you don't tell me?
Okay, have it your way. Because it's not my problem. It's your mess, and it's up to you to get out of it.
Huh?
Stop trying to pin the blame for your crazy, selfish behavior on other people, and stop trying to escape responsibility for once in your life. Wipe your own ass.
Oh my god.
Goodbye.
No, wait! Don't go! Please, Rachel, I'm begging you!
You might be wondering what our parents were doing while all this was going on. Apparently, my sister had told them that she'd stolen my rich husband. I don't know what came over them, but they were so excited that they spent a huge chunk of their pension on a celebratory party, thinking Dana would be able to cover it with her new husband's money before long. They started seriously panicking when they realized she'd made a huge misunderstanding the whole time and would never see that money again. By the time Dana and Toby went to take refuge at their place, they were already gone. Why? Because by then, they were knocking on the door of Toby's parents' house. Toby's parents were overjoyed by the news that they'd be getting a grandson, but they were disgusted with their son for having an affair and vowed to instill some morals in him by any means necessary. Last I heard, his dad had him up at 5 a.m. every morning to undergo a rigorous moral education. Apparently, he also works 3 separate jobs now because he's so overwhelmed with debt due to all the compensation he owes his ex-wife. And after being abandoned by all his friends, has no one to turn to. After sending me one last demoralized message, my disgraced younger sister completely vanished, and I never heard from her again. It never should have come to this. My life was meant for the better.
Hey! Jill! Were you able to go out with a really good-looking and well-off man? Emmy? I was just thinking it's been such a long time since we last talked, but you seem to know something I don't. Where did you learn that? From your mom! Sometimes I'll be walking by her house and she'll come out and talk to me. Well, this time she came out and hit me with the big news. Are you kidding me? I hear that you both are even planning to get married already. No, that's still on the table, but we're not sure what to do yet. So this means he's at least engaged to you then? Being able to meet an all-around perfect man and then having him become your fiancé like that? I'm beginning to get way too jealous over something like that. We still don't know if we really want to get married yet or not. But you both have been talking about it, right? And that's just everyone around me thinking that. We have talked about marriage, but we haven't done anything more with it, okay? In other words, this means everyone around you finds him to be the perfect guy, and they all want you married to him. I'm not sure about that. This was just supposed to be between him and I from the start, and we wanted to take things slowly when it came to our relationship. I might say no to marriage now if rumors like this keep getting worse and worse. I'm tired of people thinking that he's the one I must be with and I can't leave him at any time. But come on now, he is a perfect man for any woman, so you have to say yes to marriage. Emmy, you are starting to get on my nerves again with your annoying habits. What? I don't like it when you try to claim things about other people when they're not anything you need to know about. I will be the only one to talk about what I plan to do with him, and I don't want you spreading news that isn't real. And it's not even like we're engaged yet, as I haven't given him the answer to his proposal either. We're just boyfriend and girlfriend, and I want people thinking of our relationship that way for now. But he'll soon become your fiancé, right? So who cares if we just say that you're both engaged? There is still the chance that I say no to him, right? But he is the perfect man for you, so there's no way you'd say no to him, right? No, I could definitely say no to him if I want to. That's so wonderful of you. I'm getting so jealous. There is no use here. You just keep going back to the same thing no matter how I try and explain things. It's like one big stupid loop with you. My head is starting to hurt now after this, so I'm going to go now. What? But I just learned about how you're engaged to the perfect man now. I told you, he's not my fiancé. I'm asking you to please stop thinking about him and I, all right? I don't want you getting any more wrong ideas about things. Bye now. Jill, I was able to learn even more about your fiancé than you were willing to tell me. What? Wait, you're still going on about something I told you not to? Well, you were keeping all the gossip to yourself, so I had no choice but to go snooping for all the goodies. But of course, all I had to do was go and ask your mom about it. What? Again with my mom? I've told you before not to listen to what my mom says to you, right? I learned from her that your fiancé happens to be Eric, and he is 40 years old. And he happens to be in charge of a rather decent-sized company. Your mom even let me see a picture of him, but man, is he one hot-looking guy. I'm so jealous of you, Jill. You make me want to just come over to your house, put on your clothes, and act as though I'm in your shoes. I told him no. I told him no after he asked for my hand, so he's not my fiancé in any shape or form. Again with this, I see. I understand it can be a little intimidating to be with a man who is much older than you are, but after seeing that face and body of his, there's no way any woman could say no. I already know that you never said no to him and that you both are tightly engaged now. You have no frickin' clue what's going on, do you? I told you I said no to him, so that's it. He is not my fiancé, and he barely has anything to do with me now. No matter what anyone else has to say about it, I said no to him. N-O. But in reality, I've had enough of your BS, Emmy. Jill, listen to this. Listen to this. I just got pregnant with Eric's kid. Huh? 4 months ago, whenever I'd try and get more gossip from you about Eric, you always tried so hard to hide the fact that you were engaged to him and everything. Well, I knew it had to do with you fearing that I might come and steal him from you, so you tried your very best to hide all the details. So in order to make your fears a reality, I went ahead and stole him from you. Are you serious? I'm sorry. I went to his office building and waited outside for the moment he'd walk out and called for him. I introduced myself to him as one of your old friends. And once I did that, I already had him in my hands. So from there, he invited me to go out with him to a bar in town, and after getting him absolutely hammered, I took him to a hotel room with me. And I'm sure you can guess what the two of us did there, right? When thinking of the time all this took place, this kid has to be his. So, thanks to you never telling me a thing about you and him, I was able to go out myself and find him so that I could be the one to carry his kid. Thank you. Is that right? Well, congratulations then, Emmy. You're trying to act all tough about this now, aren't you? Right as you hit the jackpot with him and were finally engaged, I came along and stole him. I know that deep down you're wanting to bawl your eyes out and cry into the sky, right? Really, this is a feeling that I've been wanting to have for so long now, but could never figure out how to get here. A feeling you've wanted to have? Oh, so you never noticed anything about me then, did you? What are you talking about? Back when we were both in high school, you were going out with that guy, Finn, right? I really had this huge crush on him then. Huh? Yet you came out of nowhere and asked him out right in front of me. Do you have any idea how badly you made me feel back then? Well, me coming in from behind you and stealing your fiancé from you is my revenge for what happened to me years ago. And what makes this even better is the jackpot is now mine. All of that happiness you had thinking that Eric was yours is all going to be mine now, huh? Who is this Finn guy? So you're just going to keep playing dumb around me, huh? I'm talking about the Finn who was in the same grade as you in high school. You both would always walk home together after school, holding hands and all that. For my last 4 years of schooling, high school, I was going to an all-girls Catholic school. Huh? I must have never told you about the school I was transferring to back in middle school then, huh? But you went to Davidson High. The school I went to was Davidson Catholic High School for young women. Huh? What? Don't you remember that when you and I exited middle school, I told you that my family was moving to a new house outside Davidson, right? And, well, when we moved out there, I was wanting to play volleyball during my time in high school. The Catholic school happened to have a really good volleyball team, and since I didn't really have too many friends from back in middle school, I decided to go to a different high school than the rest of you. And after starting to go there, you and I never really talked to one another again, because we weren't that close of friends. So, what's this about you getting me mixed up with someone else you remember from high school when I was never even there? Also, is this you once again causing trouble due to some kind of misunderstanding? I remember back in middle school something very similar to this happened. There was that really popular guy in one of our classes, a grade above you and you happened to think you were dating him for some reason. He already had a girlfriend though, and when she found out you kept saying to everyone you were his girlfriend, she started to really hate your guts, right? That was just a small screw-up then. Had that guy not stepped in and started telling you that he didn't even know who you were, things would have only gotten worse between you and his actual girlfriend. I guess you never really learned from that situation then, huh? But, well, I happen to not really have anything to do with you anymore. But I will say that I am thankful that you got rid of Eric for me. So, there you go. Huh? Why are you thanking me? Why are you thanking me for stealing your fiancé from you? I've been going out with this other man ever since I was in college with him. Wait, what? But my parents always said to me that if I wasn't going out with someone who was making the same amount of money my dad makes and who couldn't care for them financially in their later years, they wouldn't let me marry him. If he wasn't from a university, then it was a no. If he didn't have his own company, then it was a no. He had to be making at least $200,000 a year or it was a no. Because of all those things they kept telling me, I could never get them to accept my boyfriend. So I went straight ahead and used Eric as a way of hiding my real relationship from my parents so they'd think I was actually dating Eric. But a man like Eric is actually a lot better than whatever boyfriend you're telling me about. I told you that I already have a man that I'm in love with and have been for years now. Well, when Eric accidentally asked me for my hand in marriage, my parents went ahead and told him okay without ever getting my take on it. Since then, everyone in my family has been going on about how I'm going to be getting married to Eric, and it's been a real pain in the butt for me. But then about 2 weeks after that, something happened. I was told by Eric that he no longer wanted to marry me and said that we were no longer engaged. 2 weeks ago? This was 2 weeks after he had thought I said yes to him about marriage. He said something about how he had another woman who would be bearing his child, and that child would be the next in line to take over his company. Could that woman possibly be you, Emmy? Well, yeah, the timing all lines up, actually. He told me he wanted to have a baby with me when he was drunk. I see now. He was so hell-bent on getting married to me after my parents said okay to his proposal, but then out of nowhere, he told me that things were off and that we'd break up. I was so confused about what had happened to him because he had put so much effort into trying to forcefully marry me after I told him no so many times. But now I can see what the answer was to all of that. So, in other words, what you're saying is I didn't steal your fiancé from you? Well, yes, that's what I'm saying now. Well, this is a little bit boring of an ending to all I had planned for. Well, whatever, I guess. Your boyfriend only ended up graduating from a small-town college with you, right? That means when comparing both of our men side by side, my Eric is far superior to your boyfriend. And now I'm going to be the one becoming the wife of a CEO. I still came out on top in all of this. And you'd better not start crying for me to give Eric back to you, okay? I'm never asking for him back. I told you already that I'm really thankful you took him off my hands. I hope you both are happy now. Yahoo! Jill! You never told me any of this. You're the worst. What is it now? Eric! He's not the man I thought he was. Why didn't you tell me he had already been married before and has 3 daughters living with him now? I never heard about any of this from you or anyone. What, you never knew about any of that? I never knew I'd need to hear about something like this. So then this means you don't know what happened to his other wives? There was some domestic violence issues with his mother and them. Huh? You never knew about the reasons why they were forced to divorce him in the end? It had to do with his family wanting his wife to bear a son for him so that the son could then get the family company next. But they always gave him daughters, and so his mom and him both forced them out of the family. Huh? But when it came to the kids, he couldn't just kick them out because that's just inhumane. So he decided to keep them and get full custody of the kids in order to have tax write-offs and such. You never knew about a single one of these things? Why did you never tell me any of this before? Well, I thought you knew all of this already because you went so far out of your way to steal him from me in order to get the revenge you'd been wanting, even though I'm the complete wrong person. I'm not marrying him now! What? I don't care how much of a jackpot he is. The fact that he's had wives before me and has 3 kids already? This is not a joke. I'm going to find myself a much younger man who is still making loads of money to marry. Really? But I thought you already handed in marriage papers and everything to the courthouse. Huh? My mom had called me the other day making fun of me for losing such a perfect man to someone else and never marrying him. And while she was making fun of me, she said that he had gotten married already and was at the courthouse handing in the paperwork. No way! Do you not remember ever signing those papers with him? So you do remember signing those marriage papers then? Well then, you're not going to be able to get out of that marriage as easy as you think. What should I be doing here? About what? What should I be doing right now about all of this? Well, if you want to get a divorce, the only thing you can do is go and talk to him about it. But just remember that he's probably not going to be on the same page as you when you bring that up to him. Why not? Well, my mom told me that the baby you're carrying right now happens to be a boy, right? You went and had the doctor tell you that during your last checkup. That's what Eric's been wanting all along, so I don't think he's going to let you get away from him that easily. Crap. No. Jill, please. Come and help me get out of this. That's not going to happen. Why not? I'm going to come over to your house for the time being. No, you won't. My boyfriend happened to have a job transfer, and in order to be with him, we both moved away. What? I ended up quitting my job at the company I'd been working for so long and found myself a new job here by the new house. And as for my parents, who ended up using the money that Eric gave me for calling off our engagement, they both used it all up, so I left them and cut ties to the both of them. So please, just leave me and my boyfriend alone now. You won't be able to learn anything from my mom about me now. Wait! The fact that only you get to be happy after all of this isn't fair! You and I have been longtime friends, right? And you should be coming to help me out of this mess! Can you give me a good reason as to why I should come out there and help you? So, you're not going to help me then? Bye-bye. What the hell? No way, Jill, please! In the end, Emmy wasn't able to get the divorce she wanted and had to go through with having the baby while married to Eric. And just as the doctor had told her, it was a boy. But when they brought the baby boy home, Emmy's mother-in-law immediately took him away from her so that she could raise the baby. And in exchange for her baby, she was given the 3 daughters of Eric to raise, with no support coming from the rest of the family. Even with her mother-in-law looking after the baby boy now, this didn't put an end to all the harassment she gave Emmy. And when it came to all the money that Emmy thought she'd be getting to spend from Eric, that all went right to his mom so that she could have free reign over all the income. What makes all of this even worse for Emmy is that Eric wasn't even on her side in any of this, as he's a major mama's boy and would never do anything to go against his mom. And if all this wasn't bad enough for her, not even her own parents were going to help her get any divorce, as they said it would give Emmy a bad name. So Emmy really was left with no way out of things in Eric's family. Even now, she has no way of getting off their property, as it's all fenced in completely with alarms on all the gates, and she's never even asked to leave the house. I think this is a fitting end for her, as she had always been so jealous of Eric and the life that he would let her live. Thank you for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. We look forward to seeing you at the next story.